And we have breaking news this hour. Former Vice President Mike Pence has officially filed his paperwork to run for the Republican presidential nomination. Two more Republicans are going to join the growing list of presidential hopefuls this week. Former Governor Chris Christie and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum also expected to jump into the race in the coming days. Pence joined several of the already declared candidates in Iowa on Saturday at Senator Joni Ernst's Roast and Ride event at the state fairgrounds in Des Moines. Pence riding in on his Harley, leading the parade of bikers alongside the senator, all trying to separate themselves from the pack and chasing the frontrunner, Donald Trump. Trump's former UN ambassador, Nikki Haley, took him on about the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
He thinks it was a beautiful day. I think it was a terrible day. I'll always stand by that.
Haley and others also slamming Mr. Trump for congratulating North Korea's Kim Jong-un for North Korea's admission to a seat on the executive board of the World Health Organization, putting Kim in a leading role along with 9 other countries.
I was surprised to see that. I mean, I think, one, Kim Jong-un is a murderous dictator. The World Health Organization's a bankrupt organization. Like, Kim Jong-un's bad, but then joining that, we need to be getting out of that and rejecting the WHO lockdown treaty and not congratulating about being involved in the WHO.
Do you think Trump has... Whether it's my former running mate or anyone else, no one should be praising the dictator in North Korea or praising the leader of Russia.
Joining us now to talk about the campaign and some big personal news for her and NBC News, Kristen Welker, NBC News chief White House correspondent, host of Weekend Today, and now newly named to be the next moderator of Meet the Press in the fall, succeeding her mentor and her close friend Chuck Todd, who has filled that historic seat for nearly a decade and is going to become the chief political analyst for NBC News, happily. So, Kristen, the Republican National Committee has also released some of their debate criteria for the first debate in Milwaukee. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, Andrea, first of all, thanks to you for that. Congratulations. Thank you for also being a mentor to me and, frankly, a pathfinder for women in journalism. I would not be here without you. And, of course, huge thanks to Chuck, who is also a huge mentor. Look, the Republican candidates are really starting to sharpen their attacks here, Andrea. That is what we are seeing. That's what we're going to see in the debates in the fall. There's no doubt about that. And we're starting to see these candidates sort of inch closer to that. Chris Christie announcing he's going to enter the race tomorrow. He'll be in Manchester, New Hampshire. Mike Pence on Wednesday in Des Moines, Iowa. That is also his birthday, by the way. And we just got some breaking news. Chris Sununu, the governor of New Hampshire, saying he is not going to get into the race. So you are starting to see the contours of the Republican field come into sharper focus. And the question is really, to what extent are these candidates going to go after former President Trump? They've been very hesitant to do so, in part because they, of course, do not want to alienate his base. They want to continue to walk that very fine line and to hold on to his supporters and try to win them over. We know that that's a big challenge. But he continues to be the top frontrunner, even given all of those legal challenges that you were just talking about, Andrea.
And do you think that all of these others, or at least as many as have jumped in, there's also talk of the Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. There's even some talk about Brian Kemp in Georgia, because he actually was critical of Donald Trump this past weekend. Do you think that this is because they see that perhaps DeSantis has clay feet and is not going to stay in that pole position very long?
Oh, I think you hit the nail on the head, Andrea. Look, Ron DeSantis is Mr. Trump's closest rival, and he's still trailing him by double digits. And so I think these other potential candidates see a possible opening. You mentioned Glenn Youngkin. He's someone who Republicans looked at and said, wow, he really figured out the playbook. He was able to walk a fine line, accept an endorsement from former President Trump at the time while not wholly embracing him. He wasn't seen with him on the campaign trail, for example. And so I think you're starting to see some of these other candidates, really potential candidates, I should say, reassess whether they're going to get in the race. But look, 2016 looms large, I think, over all of their decisions, because that was a moment when there were so many candidates in the race, Andrea, and I don't have to tell you this. You lived through this. You covered this as well, that the thinking was that really helped to pave the way for Mr. Trump to win the nomination. So I think there's some real concern about repeating those same actions, Andrea.
Well, flashing back to 2016, when we were partners covering the Democratic campaign at the time, and then you went on to cover the Trump White House, and now covering the Biden White House. So you are, perfectly prepared, and having done that incredible moderating job on the debate, the general election debate, the last one of the debates, under so much pressure, and come through with flying colors. We are all so proud and so happy about this change of one great friend to another great friend, and the great tradition of Meet the Press.
Well, thank you so much, Andrea. I am humbled. I'm honored. It is an incredible responsibility, and I am taking it on with the utmost seriousness at this really critical time. And again, just Chuck leaves behind such an incredible body of work over nearly a decade of being moderator of Meet the Press.
Well, as he said yesterday on Meet the Press, you're the right person at the right time,
in
history, Kristen Welker. So
thanks, Andrea.
Congratulations to you.